Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now I'm sure you're all aware, or most of you are, that a lot of information that you provide online is up for sale. For example, if you have a Facebook page, you provided a certain amount of information to Facebook in order to set up your page. And Facebook is allowed legally to sell that information to anybody that they want. And that's true for most of the sites or situations that you sign up for on the web. Any information that you provided can be legally sold to anybody that they want to sell it to. That's why I only fill out the required fields. Anything that's not required, I just leave blank. And on those required fields, I just put in as little information as possible. But, you know, there are scandals just about every day in the Trump administration. I mean, this is the most corrupt and treasonous administration in the history of the United States. There's no doubt that Donald Trump committed treason during the election campaign, whether you believe it or not. But last week, the House of Representatives, the Republicans in the House of Representatives, voted to allow the people that provide you with your browser, like Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, whatever other browsers there are out there, I don't know. They can now sell your browser history. Well, they can't now because the House voted on it, but it hasn't gotten through the Senate yet, and it might not. But if they do force it through the Senate, then Donald Trump says he'll sign it. And believe me, just because you delete your browser history, that doesn't mean that they don't still have it. And if it gets through and becomes law, they'll be able to sell your browser history to anybody that they want to. You know, the funny thing about conservatives, they don't seem to think that the laws that they pass will apply to them. And that's why, like people like the Tea Party, when they calls for welfare reform, for example, a whole lot of them around welfare, they thought it would only apply to black and brown people. They didn't realize that they were going to get their benefits cut and have to get a job. So that's the thing about conservatives. They think it's all about the other guy. But the laws that the Congress passes apply to members of Congress too. So personally, I don't give a fuck if somebody sells my browser history. There may be some things on there that I should be embarrassed about, but I'm not. But politicians, that's a whole different thing. And I'm sure that there would be a lot of stuff in their browser histories that would make for some very interesting reading if it gets published. For example, we know that Congressman David Vitter is a total pervert who does weird things like go to prostitutes and dress up in diapers and take shits in them and then have the prostitute clean up gross shit. So I'm sure his browser history would be really interesting. And I'm willing to bet that most of the Freedom Caucus spends a lot of time, the so-called Freedom Caucus, spends a lot of time watching child pornography. As for Donald Trump, well, I don't think his browser history would be that interesting because he's too busy tweeting, fucking his daughters, and sucking Vladimir Putin's dick. Thanks for listening.